Generation Iron app on Google Play and the App Store.
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome to another episode of King's World. Okay, so the 2019 Mr. Olympia is in the history books. We all saw what happened. Some of us were there. Most of us were watching it online. And I just happened to be in my house when I was watching it. I couldn't make it to Vegas. I really wanted to go for Generation Iron, but I was entirely too busy taking care of business here in New York. So I'm going by what I saw and the pictures. That's a huge thing, you guys, because it's a world of difference when you're there. Now, having said that, I have a lot of friends, a lot of peers. My partner in crime, Ehsan Big E, was there representing GI, all the boys from GI. So I got feedback from everybody. So I pretty much got a good sense of what is going on, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So here's my review of what happened and how I saw the 2019 Mr. Olympia. Here we go. 10th place, Mr. Patrick Moore. He was the surprise of the whole show. Why was he the surprise? Why? Because he had a physique that resembled something that we used to see in the past. Small waist, no stomach, beautiful taper, nice flowing muscular physique without that spongy look. A lot of people right now are saying that he's the next big thing. He's the next Ronnie Coleman to come along. I don't know if that's true. I actually don't think that's true. I think that he's a great bodybuilder and he has a great future. Now, what can he do? He can maintain the route that he's on right now, meaning he can continue to eat the same foods, follow the same protocols that he's been going, and just let his body and genetics bring that mass. Because what he needs right now, it's mass. Or he can take this route, which I call the Kuwait route. That means go and absolutely drop the hammer in every sense of what you and I know what I'm talking about. And he's going to end up looking like the rest of the guys that right now are representing the sport, which is the quote unquote spongy look. I hope to God that he takes this route and not this route, because Patrick does have a good future ahead of him. Remember, man, go with what you are blessed with, not what you think they want to see. You can become the people's champion, you can win shows, and you will progress. Stick to what you know is best. 9th place, Akeem Williams. Man, I thought this was the best Akeem that I've ever seen. His glutes, his hams were there. Listen, folks, when you're carrying that much mass as Akeem does, it's incredibly difficult to get that dry, crispy look, okay? It's almost impossible to get that dry, crispy look. Ronnie did it. Ronnie was the exception to the rule because Ronnie was a genetic freak of all freaks. Akeem, he reminds me of a bigger version of Orville Burke. He's got that dark, really dark skin, and he's got that high lats and the muscles that hang, kind of like a combination of Orville Burke and Victor Richards put into one. He's probably also, if not the strongest bodybuilder on this planet. This guy just throws around weight that's crazy. Personally, I think Akeem could have been a couple of spots even higher. That's my opinion. Akeem, awesome. 8th place, Lucas Osladil. Lucas and Akeem were 2 points apart, 84 and 86th in the total numbers. Lucas, this guy's like a robot to me. You know, he comes out there and he hits these, he hits good poses, but it's like almost like you have a remote control on the guy and you're pausing and you're pausing and you're pausing. He has his own style. Personally, I think it looks weird. I think that he should be a little bit more fluent. And please, for the love of God, Lucas, I know I don't know you, and congratulations for your success so far and being a top 10 in the Olympia is just absolutely amazing. But stop that rolling your glutes and the weird type of holding your leg up in the air. I know that that's your shtick, but man, pull back, man. It's just a little too artsy-fartsy for the Olympia Stick with the bodybuilding poses, man. If you were dancing out there and doing a robot, kind of like what I used to do, that's a little bit different. That's entertaining the crowd. But what you're doing right now is you're skeeving out the crowd. They're getting a little, what the hell is that? You don't want to do that. Stop the glute rolling and stop the weird movements and continue what you're doing with your conditioning, man, because that's what's bringing you in. It's the conditioning. 7th place, my pick, everybody else's pick, the whole world's pick. Everyone thought Cedric McMillan, if he dials it in, is the next Mr. Olympia. I can't say it any other way, folks. I mean, I've been pushing for this guy. So many people have been pushing for this guy. Cedric just needs to dial it in. Now, I know because I'm very good friends with his coach, and we were talking, and he was sending me pictures of Cedric all the way up to prejudging. And believe it or not, folks, Cedric was on point, and they made a critical mistake, which I'm not going to talk about because he asked me not to, and I respect Cedric and I respect his coach. They made a critical mistake at the end, which kind of messed Cedric up, but it just seems to be repetitive with him. Cedric needs to make up his mind. It's almost like the Olympia is a curse. Maybe, just maybe, this is my opinion, maybe you should stay the fuck away from the Olympia. Just stay away. You know what? If that show is putting you back and it's bothering you, there's something wrong with that, and mentally you don't like it, or something's wrong with Vegas, I don't know what the problem is. Stay away from the Olympia. Arnold Classic, win championships, do what you need to do. But for the love of God, man, just bring that conditioning in, which I saw it coming up to the show. Believe me, folks, I was watching the pictures as he was coming to the show. He was there. It's just that one critical mistake. Cedric. 6th place, the King Snake, Mr. Steve Kuklo. You know what, folks? I've said it before and I say it again. I don't know one person in this industry that doesn't like Steve. He's just a good guy. He's a polite guy. He's very humble. Steve is just a great guy. He reminds me of Jay Cutler, but with better shape. He's got that type of size and that type of width. This was the best Steve that I've ever seen, and his placing was 20 points, better than Cedric. So it wasn't even close between him and Cedric. But it's that conditioning. It's just that one film of water. I don't think it has anything to do with Steve, to be honest with you. I just think that it is a genetic thing with him, that he's just not meant to look crispy dry. Can Steve win shows? Absolutely. Can Steve win the Arnold Classic? Maybe. It's a good chance. Can he win the Olympia? He's got to get that crispy look. And at this point, I don't know if he can. I don't know if it's genetically capable of him to do it. But again, congratulations to him. He looked freaking awesome. Good job, man. 5th place, Mr. Roelly Winkler. Okay, it's a general consensus now. I think everybody pretty much agrees that he was the biggest disappointment of the show. Listen, this one's difficult for me because, as you people know how I feel about what Roelly is doing and where he is. 4 weeks out, he was Mr. Olympia. We all saw the pictures. But then again, it's in that same damn mirror that we all see in Kuwait. Roelly in that mirror is untouchable. Roelly gets on stage, weak points shoot out at you, and his conditioning was way off during prejudging. He came back a little bit during the finals, but again, just wasn't there. He's got that, again, I'll say it, spongy look. Here's my advice to Roelly Winkler. King Kamali's advice, okay? He can listen to me. Roelly's always been very cordial, very respectful. Every time we see each other, we always say hello, shake hands, hug, all that good stuff. Roelly, get out of Kuwait, go back to grandma. Go back to the Roelly Winkler that showed up to the New York Pro. You come in that condition, and you have a really good chance of putting the Olympia title around your belt. I'm telling you right now that that's what I think needs to happen, because you can't keep getting bigger and spongier. It's going to keep taking you this way instead of this way. My 2 cents, Roelly, you're a big man, you know what to do. 4th place, the Blade, Mr. Dexter Jackson. 50 years old, he's just a phenom. I mean, he's a miracle of science. I don't know what you want to call this guy. I'm 47 years old and I'm feeling the aches and the pains and the joints, and I know how hard it is to get under the squat rack and go back to 400 to 500 to 600 pounds. Dexter Jackson is just, he's the only man I know that's beating Father Time. It's absolutely amazing. Dexter came back. Here's a lesson to you guys out there. I had him 5th or 6th after prejudging. He made the adjustments, came back to the finals, and moved up a couple spots. That's how it's done. They rejudge you. That's the importance of 24 hours. If you know what you're doing and you put your grinders on and you focus on what needs to be done, you can jump up a few spots. And that's like $20 to $30 to $40,000 more in his pocket. Dexter, much better than last year. I still think that if he would have showed up the way he did in the Tampa show, he would have looked and he would have placed even higher at this show. But, you know, you can never take anything away from Dex. Still the 4th best bodybuilder in the world. God bless you, man. You're one of the greatest of all time. 3rd place, the Persian Wolf, Mr. Hottie Chupon. People's champion, again, worthy. I think so. He came back. He had qualified for the show 4 times before. Visa problems, politics, bullshit, put it aside. He came. He finally made his mark. Okay. Let's do the good and the bad with Hottie. The good is he took a risk. He gambled, man, just like, you know, the city that he went to, Las Vegas. He took a gamble. He could have easily won the 212 and held that Mr. Olympia title and took the championship back to Iran. He said no. After Vancouver, he made it clear. Everybody was like, oh, what division is he going to go? Well, he said it right there. After the show, it was clear. He did an interview with Iranian TV channel or whatever the hell it was, and he goes, I'm not going back to 212. I can't, I don't want to, I want to do the open. So put that aside. We already knew that. Hottie's strong points, obvious conditioning. He's bringing the 1990s conditioning in the era of spongy physiques. That's why he's standing out the way he is. He also has made some great improvements. He doesn't have the smallest waist. He's actually a little blocky in the waist, but he compensated for that by getting his legs abnormally big and his shoulders. Now, a lot of people are calling his shoulders suspect. You know, put that aside, okay? Suspect or not, he still got his shoulders to match his physique. Forget about what he's putting in his shoulders, what he's doing this. They're all doing the same thing, okay? He just did it correctly, and he peaked at the right time. Did he deserve 3rd place? Absolutely. If Roelly was 100%, could he beat Roelly? Maybe, maybe not. I got to see 100% Roelly standing next to 100% Hottie to see what happens. 2nd place, you know what? He could have, I'll say it, I'll be the first person to say it. Prejudging, no. Prejudging, he was a solid 3rd place. Coming back to the finals, he did improve, but so did the other 2 guys. So, 3rd place, absolutely. Congratulations to him. It's going to be very interesting in 2020, and we're going to get to that in a minute, and I'll explain to you why. 2nd place, Mr. William Bonac. This one's tough for me. You know why? Because William was 90%. He wasn't even close to being to the 100% William Bonac that I've seen when he won the Arnold Classic. Folks, William Bonac walked out on that stage, and I immediately said to myself, he looks like he's about 10 to 15 pounds smaller than I've seen him. His legs, his upper body, his back, he still had that mass. Now, here's the scary part. Scary part is that a 90% William Bonac is the 2nd best bodybuilder in the world. That's crazy. That just goes to show you what kind of potential and what kind of 3D look that this guy has. Why is William that good? Exactly what I just said. He is one of 2 people on this planet, one being Phil Heath, the other one William Bonac, that has this 3D look to their muscle. William at 100% could have won this show hands down. No questions asked. William could have won. Should he go back to Neil? Don't know. Should he put his mind and concentrate, focus 100% on the Olympia, win the title? Absolutely. William Bonac from the back took it from Hottie, both prejudging and from the finals, and just overall muscle insertions with the thickness and the 3D muscle. I didn't even think it was close. I think William was right there, 2nd place, and neither did the judges. He did it. He deserved it. William, awesome. Absolutely incredible. And our new Mr. Olympia, Mr. Brandon Curry. Did he deserve it? Yes, he did. He was the best bodybuilder on that stage, both at prejudging and come to the finals. He had the whole, he had the total package, the mass, the size, the cuts, the improvements, the attitude. When he was on there, he acted like Mr. Olympia on stage. See, that's a huge thing that you should know. When a Mr. Olympia walks out on stage and he has that confidence, Phil Heath, Dorian Yates, Jay Cutler, they just knew, I'm Mr. Olympia. Try to take this title away from me. And that's what Brandon looked like to me. Now, was Brandon 100%? Absolutely not. Was Brandon shredded? Absolutely not. Was Brandon in the top 10 of the best Mr. Olympias of all time? No, he was not. But for the year 2019, when with all the stipulations that we're about to get to in a minute, yes, he was well deserving, taking the title. Everyone's saying he's taking the title back to Kuwait. No, he's not. He's a U.S. citizen and Brandon is American. He's keeping the title here in the United States. His gym is going to celebrate it when he goes back and he starts to prep for the 2020 Mr. Olympia. Brandon, congratulations. You did this, my friend. You did this, and respect to you. So that was the 2019 Mr. Olympia. And now we're going to do a little extra post thoughts. My own King Kamali, let's see, suggestions, philosophy, and things that are to come. So I'm going to play kind of like King Stradamus right now. So I'm going to try to predict the future a little bit too. All right, so let's go with point number 1 for my final thoughts. Big Ramy. Ramy, go back to Chris Aceto, okay? I personally don't have the best, I don't think Chris is the best guru on the planet. I think Chris misses just as much as he hits as a contest prep coach, but you need him. Go back to Chris Aceto, bring the conditioning to your next show and to the Mr. Olympia, and you will be right back into the mix. You need to listen to one person, just one person. Stop bouncing from one person to another. From the back, from the pictures and everything that I've seen from your history, I think Aceto brought you in the best shape, conditioned form. You need to go back to that. You bring the cuts from the glutes. You bring the striations. You bring the inside deep, deep, deep definition. You'll be right back into the mix and into the title again. That's my 2 cents. Ramy, I hope you make the right decision. Point 2, Mr. Phil Heath. Phil, put the blinders on, which I'm sure you have already, but kind of screw them in even tighter, okay? So they absolutely locked into position. You know what to do. You know how to train. You know how to eat. And obviously, you and Hottie do good work together. Bring back the 2013 Phil Heath. And most importantly, practice your posing daily. Your posing from the front, from the side, control. You need to get somebody in front of you like I used to. I used to go to Fairfax Hackley, a old school, mean, tough guy who used to make me hold poses for 30 seconds, 60 seconds. That's what you need. Control your midsection, practice your posing, and bring back 2013 Phil Heath, and then you're going to get your championship right back again. Point 3, Kai Green. Okay. Kai, it's all there for you. All the stars are lined up. This was a very strange Mr. Olympia. Things are looking up. Right now, what you need to do is you need to focus. And here's what I would do if I was Kai Green. Go to the New York Pro, drop the hammer, and show the world conditioning. Forget about the size game. Bring that Denver, Colorado conditioning to the New York Pro. Fire some shots, and everybody will be like, oh, this is the Kai Green that we've been waiting for. And then concentrate on quality and not quantity for the Mr. Olympia. You do that, and you can sail into the sunset. Go to Bollywood, go to Hollywood, go whatever the hell you want to do as a Mr. Olympia, and then you can just be at peace, bro. You know what to do it. Point 4, Mr. Shawn Rhoden. Shawn, get your arms bigger, get your chest bigger, and get that back just Seriously, go to Charles Glass if you're going to and tell Charles, just do whatever it takes to get my back, arms, and chest bigger. Do that. Let Aceto take care of the conditioning and become Jay Cutler. What does that mean? Put your entire life, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, must be bodybuilding. Eat, sleep, train, repeat. Eat, sleep, train, repeat. You do that, and you're going to come back with a vengeance, and you're going to put your middle finger up to the world who put you out, who said you were done, and all that other legal bullshit, and you can bring your life right back on track and prove everybody and all the haters wrong. Listen, man, this is the time to do it, and the only way you can do it is you come back as the best Shawn Rhoden ever. Remember that. You have to come back at your all-time best and then some. You do that, you're back. And last but not least, point 5, Flex Lewis. Personally, I think the battle of the year, the battle that everyone's looking forward to, the battle that I want to see more than anything else would be a 225-pound Flex Lewis against the 225-pound Hottie Chupon. The rematch. I want to see this rematch. Flex, you already train like an animal. You already live the lifestyle. You're a true bodybuilder's bodybuilder. All that stuff. Put the blinders on. Go to the Arnold Classic. Drop the hammer. Throw down the gauntlet. Get your Arnold Classic Open. Arnold Classic Open Championship. Put it around your waist and then aim straight for the Olympia. You do that, you're going to be right in the mix, and you'll have a good chance. You'll have a good chance. The chance is there to be the first man ever to have a 212 Mr. Olympia title and an Open Mr. Olympia title and go down in history. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? To be the first. Okay, folks, there it is. That's my thoughts. I hope you agree, and if you don't, well, I really don't care. It's the King Kamali show, so I say what I want to say. Love you guys, and as always, a lot more good stuff is going to come. We have a lot of surprises, and I got a couple interviews coming with 2 guys. Oh, man, I can't even say their names right now but until it's done, because, you know, GI doesn't like me to say anything like that until it's actually in the books. But 2 incredible interviews coming up, so look out for that. And as always, how do I end the show? You know how I end it. Peace, bitches.